very warm welcome to you all to another live session today. And in today's live session, all of us, wherever you are watching me from, and as I am connecting with you right now, I want to extend a very warm welcome and a big thank you to all of you for joining this live session today. Friends, while everyone is joining in, while everyone is connecting to this live session, let's take a couple of seconds to discuss the theme, the topic, because for the past two or three series, for the past two or three live sessions, we have been discussing the main points of this very topic. You might remember that a few days ago, many people asked a question, and through that question, what do we actually choose in our lives, love or attachment? And what are we more connected to? What we call love, is it truly love or is it attachment? Is it a controlling nature? Is it our tendency to control everything in different ways with every single thing? It is our tendency to keep everything under our control. And many times we mistake love for attachment and attachment for love. So a lot of people have asked questions about this. Many people have discussed it. And gradually, I hope that through our conversation and this discussion, we are slowly beginning to understand what is the difference between love and attachment. What is the main broad distinction between love and attachment and all the emotions we are connected with? What is the most fundamental thing that separates them? Friends, after that, we also discussed another related topic, self-love. How much dependency is there behind forming any bond of love, behind being connected with any person, and to what extent are we able to connect ourselves in any relationship, be it friendship, companionship, or any external form? Friends, after that, today's topic is very special, and you must also be able to see it on your screen. What does emotion have to do with it? How much are emotions involved? How important is emotional freedom? Are you stuck in an emotional trap? Do we consider whatever comes to our mind in an emotional form as love? Do we rely solely on that? So today we will discuss this topic a little, and many people have asked me about it. Many people have sent a lot of questions, and we will try to address those as well so that we can connect today's topic and today's live session with you even more. So, friends, a very warm welcome to all of you for joining today's live session. At this moment, just to give you a little context, I am currently in Belgium, and I have lived in Belgium for almost 10 years, from 2012 until 2022. And this is where I am right now. Many things here are connected to me. A lot of the work I did here over these 10 years is closely tied to me. So this little time that I have spent away from you here to complete some of my work here and to do some good things here, to meet loving satsangis or to connect with them and spend time with them, that was a very important task. And I am happy that I have been able to stay connected with all of you. Friends, some of your messages that I am receiving today related to the topic, thank you very much. Since you are so connected and want to gain something from today's topic, let's begin today's live session, and I am sharing a message on your screen. Kapil Chauhanji, Chandpur. Emotions are our mind's reactions. How can they be controlled so that we can find a way out of the trap of emotional entanglement? Friends, Kapil ji has written a very good point, and someone else has also asked a similar question. I will share that with you as well. I have an emotional nature, but is it right to have this emotional nature towards everyone? Could this be an obstacle on our spiritual path? Friends, all of us and people everywhere in the world, no matter what field or place they are in, often find themselves connected to such questions. What if I am too emotional? Is this thing wrong, or are the emotions that arise completely right? Should we immerse ourselves fully in them? Should we make decisions while being completely involved in them? Should we exercise some control over them in our lives? Do emotions have anything to do with love? Friends, all of us, as many of you and I, as many people as there are, right at this very moment, in this vast world, we find ourselves deeply connected to something significant, whether it's our beloved family, our professional work, or any other meaningful relationship we might have. Emotional ups and downs, absolutely anything that impacts us emotionally, and that specific thing. At what moment will it start to control us? Any emotion, whether it's anger, detachment, a negative feeling about someone, or any kind of thought, when will it completely control us, overpower us? We don't know that. Friends, just recently, I've been spending a little time reading lately, and there's something very beautiful. A book that I have also been reading for quite some time. That book says one thing: whenever we engage with the world or in our own lives or in any subject, the first thing we do is seek information about it. No matter what it is, if something new comes into our home, whether it's a television or any other new thing that we've never used before, we first try to learn about it. How should we use that thing? In our body, our mind, and our feelings, our emotions are things that are involved in everything. If you're happy, that's an emotion. If you're sad, that's an emotion. When someone talks to you, what effect those words have on you, that's emotion. Whatever you Emotions influence you so much, your moods, your mind, and what kind of thoughts arise in your mind. How will those thoughts make you feel? How should you use this? Friends, emotional freedom can only come when you understand that emotions are not a self flowing state. They are also a feeling that arises within you and you. It is essential that you should know exactly how to use them. If you ever feel a surge of anger, you must realize that anger deep inside you, within your own thoughts, your personal mindset, or any of your intense emotions. Will it destroy your ability to understand things, or will that anger force you to think, what is this thing? You Will you truly go into a deep thought process? Will you really stop to think if someone says something specific to you and you either like it or dislike it? Will you actually think about it carefully, or will you simply react to it immediately without any hesitation? If we learn the art of emotional usage, that is to say, how to use our complex emotions properly and effectively, only then will we truly be able to use the power of love and our various emotions correctly in our lives. If you find yourself If you don't look at your emotions yourself, then it's very difficult to use them properly. Friends, why am I saying this? Because many times you must have seen people around you who say, I got angry, I lost my temper, or I got upset by something, or I got disturbed by something. When we say these things, we are not in a position to manage those emotions. We behave according to that emotion. If someone feels angry, they will show anger. If something feels wrong, we slip into that emotional state. We are not in a position to move into a thoughtful state. And friends, this is a platform where we should know how to truly use ourselves or our upcoming emotions in the right way. So, first of all, let me tell you about a variety of different factors and situations that often deeply disrupt our inner peace and emotional well being. For example, if you find yourself constantly overthinking and dwelling on events from the past, or perhaps worrying about things yet to come, about the coming future, then your emotions, whether it's fear, anxiety, or constant worry about something, or the urge to control things, these start to take over you. Overthinking is one of the main reasons for this. Guilt is the second reason. If you feel guilty about something, or if you regret something, if you think what I did was wrong, or I shouldn't have done that, then that emotion starts to overpower you. If you if you are afraid of what people will say or what people think about you, many times there are a lot of people who are affected by someone else's opinion or by the fear of being rejected by another person, that the other person might not accept them. Because of this fear, people often get stuck in their own emotional tracks. Friends, if you find this helpful, do let me know in the comments, because there are certain things that bring focus, spirituality, happiness, joy, and bliss into your life, and contentment. The best way to manage this is, if you want that in life, you don't live according to others. Then you will need to bring certain things into balance in your life. And these are some of those things. Then comes the fear of judgment. The third thing I mentioned, what will people say? Rejection. What if people reject you? You're in your relationships, when fear and trauma take hold, fear means that you are in a relationship and you feel that with your husband, wife, or parents, for whatever reason, you are unable to open up. There are some situations among friends where your emotions, your feelings, your way of thinking, or your ability to understand will act beyond your control. If you get stuck in such a situation, whether it's your any kind of social pressure, whether there are expectations from you to do certain things like becoming a well educated doctor, a great engineer, or people comparing you to others, saying that someone else is much better, that person studies well or uses their time wisely. All these things, everything I just mentioned to you, all these things in your life somehow work to entangle you. So, friends, whenever we realize that all of us are caught in an emotional trap, whenever we realize that all of us are in the true sense, which are not able to truly get out of it. Many times when we feel that we are entangled, you will always find yourself somewhere or the other. No matter how many good deeds you do, you will find yourself trapped. So, friends, today's topic is exactly this: love versus emotions. Are your feelings truly right? Or do you need to navigate it, to manage it? So, friends, I just want to say one thing to all of you who are connected here today. Listening to this in your life, if there is anything in life that can truly take you somewhere, it is your love, your affection, and that love of yours is free from bondage and controlling power. To put it simply, if you love someone, you shouldn't want to control them. You shouldn't want to make them act according to your wishes or want everything to go your way. Then that cannot be called love. So, friends, if we are stuck in this, then these 5 things that I am sharing with you right now, these are 5 things you need to look at. The reasons why we get stuck, the social pressure of change. What will people say? And comparing, what are the things that can help us get out of all these situations? Friends, I will take one message and a couple of messages that someone sent me. I will share them with you so that we can understand this topic even better. One message is a message that has just come to us is, how are acceptance and emotional traps connected? Isn't accepting someone's wrong behavior also called an emotional trap? Friends, you and I, whenever we judge a situation based on emotions, for example, suppose you are meeting someone and this person, that from any incident or from saying anything, you get an emotional, you feel emotional pressure. You feel like the other person will prove you wrong. The other person will make you look small. You feel that what the other person is saying will diminish your value, your existence. Whenever you find yourself in an inferior position and the other person in a superior one, whenever you feel that the other person is managing or controlling you, often it's not actually the case that we get very troubled, friends. We do. It's important to understand one thing: spirituality is not just about closing your eyes. Spirituality is about understanding the control of your own mind, managing your mind in such a way that you don't become a part of various things or different kinds of bondage. So, friends, for this, it is very important that the things we are discussing right now, you definitely make a note of them somewhere. Why am I telling you all these things? Because many times Keep these two things separate, spirituality and devotion. Whatever faith you have in God and worldliness, life, the mind, the emotions that arise from the mind, you keep these separate from each other. But it is not possible for you to manage both things separately. They are both parts of the same life. If you do not know how to manage yourself emotionally, if you do not know how to control yourself, if you do not know how to guide yourself in the right direction, then for you, life is like going around in circles at a fair. It's like a roller coaster, like a spinning ride, as they call it, where you keep going round and round in the same direction. So, friends, understanding true love for you means you should know how to manage your emotions. So, friends, now a very beautiful question has been asked. Is it right to be emotional? Friends, when it comes to being emotional, let me tell you in a second. Being emotional, is it in your hands or is it a part of your being? It's a part of you. We all are carrying a mind in this whole physical form. We cannot separate our mind from our body. The mind is a part of our body. And the thoughts that arise in the mind, the feelings that come up within us, the response to those is what we call emotion. Have you ever, regarding something about it, the thoughts that arise in response to seeing, hearing, or experiencing something, those are emotions. For example, you see that it's a beautiful sunny morning and you feel your day is going to be good. The thoughts that arise within you because of that, the happiness, the excitement, the sense of positivity you feel, those are emotions. The sunrise itself, or us being able to see it, that's not the emotion. The thought that arises behind it is not the emotion either. The emotion is what is within you. There is a reaction to something. And this happens so quickly. Seeing something, feeling it, having a thought arise from that feeling, and then an emotion connected to that thought. All of these things happen so fast that you can't calculate them. You won't even be able to realize that if the person in front of you, he is looking at you in a way that is suspicious or has something wrong towards you, whether it's a negative feeling or a sense of looking down on you from the way they look at you, to the thoughts that arise in their mind, to interpreting their meaning, and then the jealousy, anger, rage, or any kind of confusion that arises in our own mind. How long does it take for these emotions to form? All of this happens very fast, and there is a very strong bond between them. How will you manage that? If you don't know how to do this, then no matter how much you achieve in life, you won't be able to steer yourself in the right direction. So, friends, what I want to teach you is that all of you should have good emotional management. All of you. In whatever life you are living, you will meet thousands of people. Some people will be close to you, your family, your loved ones, your dear ones. Some people will be in your outer circle, like your friends, your colleagues at work, or your neighbors you meet while walking down the street. Some people will be acquaintances and they will suddenly approach you for some work, some conversation, or some discussion. And all these things create emotions. What kind of emotional response you have, what you think about something, and how you react to it, these are things you should know. So, friends, this is a very important aspect of spirituality. Just as meditation is a very important part of spirituality, so is mastering your emotions. How to control your mind. Don't live your life according to others or based on what others want. This is something you need to learn in your life. Why am I saying this, friends? Because you must have often seen that many people, you must have also heard many people say, I just don't feel like it. This in itself shows that if your mind doesn't want to do something, you'll just leave it, you'll give it up. If a thought arises in your mind that doesn't feel right to you, even then you are compelled, forced to do that thing because your mind pulls you in that direction. Even if you know that something isn't right, do you still listen to your mind? Many times it happens that you know the person in front of you is not right. Even then, you often accept that person's behavior, something they say, their truth or lies, any kind of statement with your mind. Or when you hear something and think about it, your emotional response is no longer in your control. You feel sad, you get angry, you feel scared, you feel pain, and many times you find yourself distressed, meaning you find yourself in a very anxious state. So, what is all this? Friends, it's the inability to manage yourself emotionally. So, I just want to say one thing to all of you. A very big part of spirituality is things like meditating with closed eyes, seeking solitude, embracing silence, and connecting yourself with the right mentor. This is a very important part of it, just like you have 4 or 5 friends. What should they be like? What kind of company do you keep? This is a very important thing, just like dedicating a part of your life to selfless service. That too is very important in the same way. Learning emotional response, mastering your emotions, how to behave, how to react, is also very important for you to learn. If you keep saying, I don't feel like it, my mind doesn't agree, people made me angry, people are after me, this is what you are doing wrong. If you blame people, then people will never want to do good for you, and you will always be stuck in that. So, friends, I see 2 more questions. I want to take those up here as well so that you can understand those things and delve a little deeper into this topic. Keep thinking deeply about this. Give this topic a little importance in your life if I were in your place. So, love versus emotion. This is a major part of the charge sheet on the wall of my room. That is, if you ask what things I need to learn, and if you put up a big chart in your house and write down on it the things you need to learn, then today's topic, that chart, that subject we need to learn, has a very big section. In bold letters, it says love versus emotion. I need to learn about love and what is the relationship between love and emotion. How can I manage it? I need to learn this. Friends, let me add 1 or 2 more things for you so you can connect even more with this topic. What kind of preparation is needed to protect ourselves from emotional pain? What are the needs? What are the preparations I need to make so that I can protect myself from emotional pain? That is, from the suffering caused by emotions. It's a very beautiful question. And there's another related question. Can our emotions restrict our growth? If I try to answer both of these questions in one word, our emotions are, can they hinder our progress or can they stop our development? Absolutely, they can stop it if we are emotionally if you are an emotionally unstable person, let me put it this way. If you are under the control of your emotions and your emotions are not under your control, if your feelings do not follow your direction, but instead, after emotions arise, you simply get swept away by them, if you are even a little emotionally weak or not quite emotionally balanced, it will have a significant impact on your growth. Your time will be wasted, your energy will be wasted, and the more you try to move forward, the more you will end up going backward. If you take 2 steps forward emotionally, without judging anything as right or wrong, necessary or unnecessary, because of any emotion, you could end up taking 2 steps back in your life every time. The second thing is, what kind of inner preparation should you do? Friends, emotions are a very vast subject, and when it comes to managing your mind, there are many things you will have to gradually learn, step by step, just like you climb a staircase. If I were to tell you in a single word what you should do, it's obvious that you will have to take several steps for that. But the very first thing I can tell you, the very first thing I can truly share with you today is this: it is the power of self reflection. Self reflection means that well, after hearing or understanding anything new, you should not make a final decision immediately. You really need to take a moment to think it through deeply and consider all the implications before you act. You need to make in your brain a kind of self resilience. You have to establish a kind of management within yourself. If someone says something to you, count to 10, and during the time it takes to count, whether it's 10 seconds or 15 seconds, within those 15 seconds, take 2 steps back and reflect. To reflect means someone said something, someone heard something, someone shared something, someone imposed something on me, but what does it actually mean? On what information is the other person basing what they're saying? This is part of self reflection. Whenever another person says something, what is the reason or meaning behind them saying it? Friends, there is a very beautiful quote, a very beautiful saying that not every battle has to be fought. You don't need to fight, every conflict, every war. Every battle is not meant for you. There are many things like this. It depends on the mental state of the person in front of you. Let me give you a small example. Suppose you are walking through the market and suddenly a person wearing torn clothes, completely dirty and unwashed, comes up to you and starts shouting loudly. What would your reaction be? Would you start fighting with that person just because he approached you? That he hurt your respect, that he didn't realize you are such an important person, that you are well known, you have prestige and honor? Would you get angry at him, or would you reflect and think, oh, this person in front of me is not mentally stable. His circumstances are such that he cannot think rationally. He is not in that place. He cannot think in that way. Friends, we need to understand this. Whenever we meet someone, not every person is physically disabled. That's not necessary. Some people are mentally, some people, due to biased information, that is, having very little information, react very quickly to it. In the rush to react, people often become biased. Being biased means that sometimes people react without having the full information. People respond based on incomplete or hearsay information. Unless you reflect, the first thing I can tell you about preparation is self reflection. Before saying, hearing, reacting, getting angry, feeling hurt by someone, or taking offense at someone, before any of that, people about you have opinions before getting upset about this. Take a step back and count to 10. Think, is it necessary to react? When you think this way, you'll have time to separate your mind, your emotions, yourself from others. You are not part of their battle. If you get involved with someone else, you're not doing what you need to do in your own life. So, friends, let's take a couple of questions online because you are sharing such beautiful things with us. And there are so many things that, even after receiving so many of your messages during this entire live session, I'm not able to answer completely. But how can I explain this overall situation? I definitely try to do this. So, friends, let's take two or three more questions. One Sheikh asks, how are love and emotion connected to the spiritual path? To put it simply, spirituality is impossible without love. Wherever there is love, you will be connected. If your love, worldly, the world is also connected with benefits. It is connected to progress. It is linked to many worldly things. So even if you want to, you won't be able to let go of the valuation and importance of the world. But if this same love helps you understand that God has given our life to us like a journey, and in this journey, what will we experience and what will we understand from these experiences? That is the meaning of our life. We will not get everything good. It's not necessary that everything goes according to my wishes. It's not necessary that what I want is exactly what happens or that life turns out the way I want it to. I want everything to be good. I want this work to get done, this and that. Even after achieving things, if you look at any previous generation before you, you will find that even if a person is rich, wealthy, a businessman, or very successful, even if he is a scholar of the world, his end time still comes. So the facilities you have in this world are just a way for you to live your life. They are not your ultimate goal. A lot of money can make life easier. Knowledge can change your experience of living, but it cannot make everything right. Not everything can be perfect. Gaining experience in life is your goal. When you face sorrow, you will understand. What is the truth behind it? Even when you are in pain, you will understand. You will come to understand what the truth is. So, without love, spirituality, or the emotional state you enter through love, you cannot continue to move forward in the right direction. Many people think, what does love or emotion have to do with spirituality? If you are not fully conscious of your direction or goal, then both of these things can disturb you a little in the world. Let's look at another question. How can we face difficult emotions without getting anxious? By accepting that it is just an experience. Whatever is happening in your life, whether things go according to you or are beyond your control, it is just an experience. And any experience that happens in your life is there to teach you something. The feelings of fear, anxiety, or distress that arise from it are simply due to the lack of knowing how to react like a small child. If you don't teach a small child how to handle every situation, he will be afraid of everything. And out of fear, he will start crying about every little thing. The reaction to everything is fear. In the same way, if we are not taught why things happen in life, we start considering everything as wrong, and emotions are something that must be learned. I see another question. Does only what is written in our destiny happen? Friends, I want to sincerely request all of you to understand the concepts of fate, destiny, and beginnings. Whatever processes we have for living life, the feelings within us, the energy inside us, this energy has been given to us by God so that we can live our lives in a beautiful way. When we start believing that something is predetermined, then many times we stop making efforts. But you don't realize that your efforts, your attempts, this enthusiasm and energy within you is also given to you by God. If God tells you that you should not be angry, jealous, or wish ill upon others, then these are signs meant to guide you in a good direction. These are indications to move forward in that direction. But if you believe that everything is just fate, if I get angry at someone, that's fate. If I feel anger toward a person, if I get upset with someone, then that's destiny. That's my luck. What can I do? So, somewhere along the way, we end up rejecting what God is giving us from within. So, I just want to make one request to all of you: let fate be the beginning. These are two different things. Fate is what we ask for, which is already predetermined. Prarabdha is what God wants us to accomplish in our lives, and He repeatedly evokes those feelings within our hearts. He inspires within us the desire to do something good, to learn something, to achieve something. If you don't move forward, then you won't achieve anything. If you just sit at home, you won't get anything new. If you don't step outside, all those opportunities that God wants to give you in this life will be closed off to you. So, friends, all of you should definitely start learning how to maintain your emotional balance. I'll take one or two more questions because you all are writing many very beautiful questions. Emotions are a very good topic. You should start working on them, but don't leave this behind. And as I said, if I were in your place on my learning board, in my room, in my learning process, I would have written emotional. The field of management is one of my most critically important, the absolutely essential academic subjects and disciplines. How exactly should I conduct myself in this role? Friends, all of you who are present here, and what makes me happy is that so many of our people are becoming a part of this conversation, this discussion, this live session. I hope this live session is bringing some strength into your life. The profound lessons that I am currently attempting to share with you, I myself have been a dedicated student of them for an incredibly extensive period of my life. This subject, this sense of seriousness, and this deep spirituality offers us a perspective that is truly and deeply beautiful. As long as you are alive, you must strive to always remain a dedicated student with a constant burning desire to learn. You are never complete until you carry this. If you are in physical form, if you have a body, always be ready to learn, because what you can learn in life will take you much further. And friends, the process of learning is not limited to just student life or school life. When we send our children to school, they learn literal things. That is a lot of academic knowledge, reading, writing, adding, subtracting, understanding the meaning of things. And after that, when you come into life, you learn spiritual or practical knowledge, how to make use of life. And this spirituality wants to teach you that, how to live like a true human in this universe, what it really means to live as a human being. So, friends, I'll take one more question. And after that, I'll try to briefly answer some of the questions that the children have asked us. A sister writes to us asking whether it is right to ignore in order to control emotions. You should judge and make a decision about this, friends. The very first thing I can tell you in this brief conversation through today's discussion is this: What is the first thing I can tell you? Do not hurry to make a decision. Do not be hasty in making decisions. Making a decision means making an emotional decision. Whenever you have to decide about something, whenever you have to form an opinion about anything, forming an opinion without complete information, if you judge people, there is a very beautiful saying, friends, don't judge a book by its cover. Judging a book just by its outer, don't judge by looking at the cover. This is the process of judging too quickly. You saw a book and thought it was very bad. Its cover is very nice, so you decided it wouldn't be a good book. You didn't even bother to open that book and look inside. Take your time, whether it's with the people in your life, your relationships, your own mind, your reactions, or your responses to people, their words or their way of thinking. What these things will teach you in your life is a very important matter. Friends, I once read a very beautiful story, and today I want to share it with you. I read a very beautiful story. Once, a wife, after much persuasion, took her husband to the temple, saying, "Come to the temple with me." The husband was an atheist. He never went to the temple, but this time he did. When he went, he was very nervous because he had been told many things. If you go there, you have to be very careful, very attentive. He went, feeling sensitive and anxious. When he arrived there, the worship plate slipped from his hands. There was a loud noise and prayers were going on. In the middle of that, there was a commotion. People became very angry because of the disturbance. They said many harsh things to him and humiliated him in front of everyone. Even the priest got upset. The husband was deeply troubled and incredibly upset. In his overwhelming anxiety, profound distress, and a sense of inner suffocation, he felt this way. He came back home carrying these heavy feelings, and when he eventually went to a local bar, and as he slowly entered the bar, so there, in that same anxiety, he asked for a drink, and when he went to drink, the glass slipped from his hand. The same experience happened again. Earlier, the plate had fallen. This time, the drink fell, and the sound of the drink spilling was just as loud. There was the same commotion, but this time, no one got angry about it. The person who had served the drink came over. He gently asked her, "Are you upset? Did you get hurt?" He poured another drink for him and said, "Don't worry, life is difficult. You should learn how to get through it with ease." Friends, I understood the essence of this story. The place is not at fault. People often react quickly, judge hastily, and behave impulsively with others. So, what can you do first? The very first thing you can ignore to control your emotions is this: do not judge too early. Don't be hasty. Give every person a chance. Take your time to express yourself, your reactions, your feelings, and everything else. Take time to understand anything before you make a decision in your mind, friends. There's another message I am reading. When someone close to us goes far away, so how do we maintain our emotional balance? Friends, not every emotion is wrong. Love is not wrong. Anger is not wrong. Worry is not wrong. Fear is not wrong. Anxiety is not wrong. If you feel any kind of emotion about something, it is not wrong. In fact, if you are experiencing that emotion in a sensitive matter, it is actually a good thing for the mind. God has Somewhere, God has created this for the sake of connection. If your mind makes you feel something right about anything, then feel it. Feel gratitude, feel good, and believe that there must be a good reason behind everything. Maybe that's why it happened. But try. If these feelings, if these emotions, if these things are causing emotions that repeatedly force you to put yourself down, then you should learn to protect yourself from them. Friends, I want to share a small thing with you. Many of our friends have sent in their questions for today's session. I will try to take their questions as well, how we can move forward in our lives. A very small, taking a small message, I will address those questions that many of our children have written to us. One question is, if a person falls ill, is admitted due to ashram work, and is in the hospital, then what should be done? Friends, we can help someone in every possible way. Whoever can benefit from our help, whose life can be improved, we should always help them. At what level you are able to help, that is a decision you have to make. It may be that you don't have much money, it may be that you don't have many means or a lot of resources. If you can't reach a doctor, then any person can help in whatever way possible. This is a very big thing. If I, for example, can easily connect you so that you can get help at the hospital, that would be a huge help. If I have money to give that I don't expect to get back, and if by giving such money I can help someone, that would be a very good thing. If I can help someone regain their health, if I can't do anything else, and if a person, I can at least offer them comfort and encouragement. This is a great act of service, and if you do this, it would be a matter of great happiness. Friends, a sister writes that I get emotional very quickly. Is this something? It's not a bad thing. Friends, getting emotional very quickly is not wrong. But if because of your emotions, you accept that emotional state as reality and remain stuck in it, stay in distress or pain because of it, then this is something you need to learn about. Your emotions may be valid, but whether they are necessary or not is something you need to learn. Many times, I give the example that if someone spoke to you harshly, said something to you that they shouldn't have said, you can't control what another person says to you or doesn't say. But if you accept what they said as the truth about you and you suffer because of it, you are in pain, in distress, and you carry this pain with you every day. Many times in India, in many family relationships, people have certain expectations. And when someone says something that isn't true, they take it to heart. Managing this is your responsibility. How will it be possible for the other person to improve, for the other person to change, for the other person not to speak harshly to you? But if they do say something, what importance does it really hold for you? Balancing this, managing this is emotional mastery, and it is your responsibility. If you are unable to manage this, you will not be able to progress further in spirituality. I want to very humbly request this of you. To progress in spirituality, you must become self reliant. That means minding your own business. I need to focus on my own growth first. Only if I am able to improve myself can I help someone else. If I know how to swim, only then can I save someone. If I know how to escape from fire, only then can I rescue someone. If I know how to avoid suffering, only then can I help someone else avoid it. So, the first responsibility, what is your first responsibility? Be a better person yourself. Friends, let's take some questions from the children. Many children have asked questions. One question was asked by Richa Pathak. She says, sometimes we suddenly feel troubled for no reason. What should we do in such cases? Richa, I want to tell you one thing. No one gets troubled for no reason. Worrying is a habit. We tend to keep things over and over in our thought process, which is called overthinking. When you hear something, see something, or feel something, and that thing creates a sense of worry in your mind, and you start thinking about it again and again, this doesn't happen without a reason. You have trained your mind to automatically keep thinking about those things that are happening inside you. You should learn how to free yourself from it. The second question is, how do we control our emotions? Friends, instead of trying to control your emotions, let me give you a small example. That is, make yourself strong enough to balance everything that comes your way. You cannot control your emotions. There are thousands of types of emotions, and you never know which one will arise or in what form, but you can be prepared. You can become a formidable and resilient warrior who is fully prepared to engage in every single battle. You cannot accurately predict or predetermine exactly how you will fight each battle or what the final eventual outcome will be. So instead of simply trying to control your internal emotions, you work on yourself, accept that you're moving in the direction of strengthening yourself. Total acceptance that right now we are under the control of our mind. And because of this, even if we try, we won't be able to move forward. This is certain. The day you write on your hand, the day you write on your paper, the day you write in your notebook, the obstacle between me and moving forward is my emotional response. From that day onward, your preparation to break free from this emotional response will begin. From that day, whatever you do will make you a good person. Prachi asks a question, yes? For her, the meaning of life is just to live according to others' directions. That's a very good question. Living according to others' directions. Prachi and many of our brothers and sisters who are observing life today, if you also feel that you have to live according to others' directions, then friends, somewhere this is your own responsibility. There's a very beautiful saying by Bob Marley: be aware of how you treat people. Always pay attention to how you behave with others, because people tell you how much they can tolerate. Whatever you tolerate, that much you show others that they can suppress you to that extent. If you tolerate too much, then you are basically telling people that I won't even stand up for my self respect, my abilities, my personality, or even for my own humanity. If someone hurts you, won't you tell them that it hurts? When you get hurt physically, you can say it, but if someone is hurting you emotionally, if someone is saying something against your mindset or your guidance, then what will you do? Friends, you have only two options. The first, if you can't change people, change people. If you can't make people understand, then you'll have to distance yourself from them. Because if you spend 24/7 with someone who keeps poking at your wounds every day, then one day those wounds, worms will infest those wounds and they will turn into ulcers, and then you won't be able to save yourself. So, my request to you is do not tolerate too much. Don't endure so much that your wounds are no longer able to heal. There's another question. Actually, there are three questions that this sister has asked. How are emotional and trap connected together? We are emotional. Everyone says we become very emotional. What does this mean, and what is the limit of emotional freedom? Friends, being emotional, this is not wrong. Every person is emotional. Some people show less emotion, some show more. Some people show their emotions to others, and some do not. Every person is emotional. It's just that some people have learned to balance it, some haven't learned. So, friends, I always have a small analogy for this. An emotional person, an emotionally unbalanced person is like an animal that is not under control and is let loose. What would happen if an animal got into your field? If you have no control over it, it would destroy the entire field. An emotional person who hasn't learned to balance themselves or doesn't want to balance themselves gives themselves the freedom to, I have the right to be sad. I have the right to suffer. If people say bad things about me and I take those things to heart and put myself through even more pain, then by doing all this, you will end up putting yourself in a situation where you are harming yourself the most, all because of your own lack of management. People say you are emotional, and there is nothing wrong with that. Every person is emotional, but do your emotions affect your home, your health? It is your responsibility not to let your emotions ruin your family, your relationships, or your mind. So you must learn this. Spirituality tells you that if you do not master these emotions, people will end up controlling you. People will say something bad to you, and they will pull you out of your state of contentment and peace. Friends, there is another question that a brother is writing. Some people do emotional blackmail. Friends, you can only be emotionally blackmailed when you are engaging in activities that you really shouldn't be doing. If you are not doing anything at all that you shouldn't be doing, then you can remain completely steadfast and remarkably courageous on any matter or situation that may arise. Many times, even our own close ones put emotional pressure on us. If you didn't do this, if you didn't do that, we want this, we want that, getting swayed by anyone's emotional words. From our side, this is the most harmful thing we can do for that person. If our child says to us that, if you don't place a burning coal on my hand, I won't talk to you. And if we give in to what they say and actually place the coal on their hand, you can imagine the consequences. The one who gave the coal will be filled with guilt, and the one who held the coal will be filled with pain and suffering. And as for the after effects, you can understand that the blame will last a lifetime. Even if I wanted it, why did you give it to me? So, friends, I just want to tell you one thing. There is no such thing as emotional blackmail. It's all about our own management. Whether we do something or not is up to us. Friends, let's take one more small question. And after that, we'll gradually bring today's session to a close because this live session is part of the topic of love and attachment. This is the theme we are discussing. Is love truly love? And if love is indeed love, then can we achieve everything through love? And then there's another perspective. If love forces you to bind people, control them, or make things go your way, no matter whose love it is, we shouldn't consider that as true love. We should be honest with ourselves that we want people to act according to our wishes. If they don't listen to us, we get upset. If they don't do things our way, we feel troubled. We want to manipulate that situation. This is not love. If we wish well for someone but force them by saying, if you don't act according to me, I won't talk to you, then friends, that's not truly wishing well for someone. This is really pushing your thoughts, imposing your ideas on someone else to such an extent that the person is unable to live their life freely. So, friends, let's take a couple more questions. What is the difference between truth, love, and emotion? Friends, whenever you love something in love, you see the beauty of anything, its charm, the ultimate essence within it. I always give this example. If you go to a very beautiful garden where flowers are blooming, a flower is divine in itself, it is inherently divine. If you look at its beauty, its elegance, its growth, its radiance, it shows you the beauty of God, of the divine. But if you break that connection and say, this flower will look more beautiful in my house, in a glass vase with water. When you were looking at that flower in the garden, there was that beauty, that divinity. But when you plucked it, you wanted it to become yours, to remain yours, to adorn your home. I became involved there, and its beauty will come to an end. In relationships, in love, in people, in the life around you, trying to control anything emotionally is just like that. When you love someone, you want that person to grow. It's not necessary that in every form that person revolves around you or remains your servant. It's enough if they are happy in your life or even far away from you. Many times when we raise our children, after a certain point, just as a flower blossoms, they too will grow, they will flourish and go out into the world. If we insist that they stay in our home, stay only with us, then we are trying to pluck that flower. We should let them grow. Friends, there are one or two more questions, although this is a very, very, very good topic, and I want you to definitely reflect on it because whenever you listen to something, that act of listening becomes a great and beautiful philosophy for deepening your contemplation, reflection, and expanding your thoughts on even a small topic. Whenever you write down this topic somewhere and sit down to discuss it, when you try to learn from it, then truly you will become one with me. The relationship between you and me on that day will become a relationship of knowledge. Right now, your relationship is that of a follower. If you say that you believe in me, then what is it that you believe in? You believe in what I say, you believe in me, you believe in my external appearance. But the day you decide to learn from the discussions I am having with you, the first thing that will arise is contemplation. You will think, and after thinking, whatever you feel is lacking in you, you will try to acquire that. Friends, let me take one or two more questions. Then we will end today's live session. It's been almost an hour, and thank you so much for joining with such patience, such dedication, and such emotion, for always connecting in life and being a part of it. I hope this live session has brought some change in your life. If you were able to learn something from my experiences, my efforts, then wherever you are standing in your life today, may you find a strong step forward. Friends, let's take one or two more questions. Anshi is writing a question: how to let go of something or someone who restricts our emotional growth without hurting ourselves. And I want to add one more thing to this. You are asking how we can let go of something or someone who restricts us. I want to add one more point to this. Apart from this restriction you mentioned, try to apply this to every situation. How to let go of something or someone, whether we love them or not. In other words, everything. How do we let go? This is true love. What is love? Whatever you see around you, whether it is for you or not, whether it is teaching you something, bringing out your inner strengths or weaknesses, whether it makes you sad or helps you grow. After a certain point, that thing will become separate from you. Friends, there is a very beautiful analogy about people. The people we meet among us, the companions we find on our path, the people we meet, they are either here for a reason, for a season, or for the whole life. Either they are connected to us for some reason, maybe they came to us today because they need money. If they didn't get the money, or if they did get the money, either way, after meeting us once, they will leave. And some people come to take something from us, some come to give us something. People meet us for a reason. Then there are people who come into your life for a season. They become your friends, companions, relatives, stay with you for some time, but they were not meant to stay forever. They're supposed to be there for a while. It could be a month, it could be a year, or maybe their connection with you lasted for 10 years. Just like school friends, when we go to school, we were in first grade. Maybe a student stayed with us for a year, but then moved to another class or another school. Another child might be our friend for the entire session, meaning if we stayed in a school for 5 years, then for those 5 years, and then we changed schools. Some friends stay with us throughout our entire life. Wherever we went, whichever school we attended, they were always with us. Over the course of our 12 to 15 years of schooling, they became such strong friends, but then we lost touch. Some people became friends at work, some had relationships with us in the family for a certain period. Friends, not every person is meant to stay in our lives forever. Understand this. We are connected to people either for a certain reason, for a certain period of time, or with some for a lifetime. But in all these situations, we are connected to learn, to give, and take. What we have to understand is that true love is to let people grow in their own field. Don't hold someone back because of yourself. Don't become a shackle on someone's feet. Don't stop anyone. Never become an obstacle in someone's progress. If you love someone, let them grow, let them reach their highest. Secondly, if someone is sitting with you but is not helping you grow, you outgrow them, you move ahead. Every guru wants their disciple to do this. The disciple should rise above the guru. I want you to learn from me and surpass me. I want you to take from me, and whatever you learn from my life, pass it on to others. If you learn from me and think, whatever I am learning, I won't share it with anyone, then that is not true growth or development. The very reason we form relationships in every way is not fulfilled. So, friends, let's come to the final question. Although there are many people are saying a lot of things, writing very beautiful questions, but I will just take one question. Many people, friends, are a bit cynical. I am reading one question and I want you not to be so bitter. The question is, attachment is the greatest poison. No matter how hard you try, you shouldn't get attached. Friends, don't we have attachment to our parents? Don't we have attachment to our sisters? Don't we have attachment to a true friend? Don't let your mind be shaped by any one relationship that has caused you pain or suffering. As we have said for so long, don't make emotional decisions too quickly. It's possible that your feelings may change tomorrow. The attachment that you consider poison, pain, or suffering today, perhaps that very attachment or a similar kind of attachment may help you move forward in life. So always be mindful, always be open. Nothing always leads in just one direction. Friends, let's take the last question. Surendraji asks, can we control our mind? Because the more we try to control it, the more it leads us astray. Friends, if you are unable to direct your mind in your own way, if you are unable to direct your mind in your own direction in your life, then how can this mind be yours? I want to ask you something. You bought a motorcycle and you say that the motorcycle won't go in the direction you want to take it. You bought a car and you say the car doesn't want to go where you want to take it. You want to come to Delhi, but the car takes you to Mumbai. Is this possible? It is we who give energy, enthusiasm, and flavor to the mind. We tend to fall for the things we feel are valuable. If our eyes see something beautiful, then that beautiful thing tells our mind that we should have it. If our ears hear good music, if our tongue tastes something delicious, all these things tell our mind these things are good. We are the very ones who have carefully defined all these things for our own mind. If later on we begin to blame the mind, saying that it is simply not under our control anymore, then we are certainly not telling the whole truth. My friends, the truth is that the mind only does exactly what we have told it so far is good and beneficial. I want to ask you something if you don't mind. Suppose you go somewhere that smells really bad, is dirty, a place where you don't even like to stand, and you tell your mind, let's go sit in this stinky place. Will your mind go there? Will it be willing to go? How will the mind do something that you yourself have not told it is good? You have never told your mind that where there is stench, where there is a bad smell, that thing is good for you. So why would the mind go there? The mind is not ready to go there. Friends, I know it's been a long time, and all of you should take yourselves, your own spiritual journey very seriously. Life is as short as we could even think of. Life is so short. Today it is here. Tomorrow it may not be. You have only a little time. It will pass by very quickly, and suddenly you will feel that time has slipped out of your hands. That's why I say take life very seriously. And when you take your own growth, your own development seriously in life, it all begins with the mind. If you bring love into your inner self, right? If you keep the things you like within yourself in the right way, if you set your goals correctly, then your mind, your emotional responses, and your needs will become easier to manage. So, friends, there is actually a lot more to share, but I want you to mm, or take your spiritual growth forward along with managing your mind and your emotions. If you are not managing them, many people often tell me that they get angry very easily. If you get angry very often, then it is your responsibility to understand every reason behind your anger. If you feel that those reasons are valid, then you need to change the meaning you attach to it, because anger, rage can never be justified. Do you want someone to come to you and curse at you every day, to get angry at you, to come and yell and scream at you? We don't want anyone to get angry at us, no matter how valid their reasons or arguments may be. We don't want people to be angry with us. Do you want that? Friends, when you look at an emotion in this way, you will realize something. Just as it is not justified for someone to be angry at us, in the same way, we need to question how necessary the emotions we display to others really are. And when we start questioning, and I gave a simple example earlier, let me give another one. If you say that you shouldn't tell every person not to do this or not to do that, if every single person starts telling you not to do this or not to do that, everyone on the street, everyone in your family at home, if they start interrupting you about everything, how would you feel? Friends, we want to be trusted. We have seen life, we want to be trusted, but we should keep that destiny to ourselves. When we desire freedom for ourselves, we should also allow others to be free to have their own life experiences. And you will only be able to do this when you look at your emotions in this way. So, friends, thank you very much for being a part of today's live session. I am fully aware that each and every one of you has connected with us through this interactive live session in many various ways. And it is my sincere hope that you have truly learned a great deal of valuable information from it today. The intention is always ours. Our intention is that this live session brings something good into your life. So before ending this session, make sure to be a part of the next live session as well, the one about attachment and love. The next discussion in this series will be about setting boundaries. If you want to nurture your love and channel it in the right direction, you will have to tell yourself what you should and shouldn't do. We will talk about this more openly in the next live session, so be sure to join us. Whenever you get the chance, tell others as well so they can be a part of this live session with us. How can you join us, friends? It's right there on your screen. One, you must be seeing a unique barcode right now. You can clearly see this digital barcode displayed on your screen. You can always choose to distribute and share it with others. This is your personal barcode, and through this specific barcode, you can easily reach out to many different people so that they can connect with you instantly. You can reach as many people as possible. It will help you connect with more people in the future. Through this live session and this barcode, you will be able to connect with even more people going forward. Our aim is for as many people as possible to join our channel. So, friends, thank you very much. I hope that today's live session, today's conversation, and your participation will help you move forward. Thank you, friends. We will definitely meet again next time. Until then, good night. I hope all of you enjoyed today's live session. I hope you learned a lot from this live. Good night, friends. We'll meet again soon. Until then, reach as many people as possible. Keep moving forward in life.